Good morning and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, which you likely are because I've only ever posted one video, welcome. My name is Aya. I feel like between posting my first video and now, a lot has happened. Obviously, life gets in the way. And also, I think I got a little bit intimidated by creating long form content and also putting it out in the world because I have to speak a little bit more. And truth be told, I used to be really good at talking in front of a camera, but I feel like ever since I started living alone and became more quiet, it became more intimidating. But practice makes perfect, right? You have to do it to be it. So here we are. As you probably got from the title, this video is around mundane activities, my mundane diaries, and I'm going to explain why. Truth be told, I had a really rough summer. Honestly, the last few summers have been really rough and just emotionally debilitating, life altering, just all around, and I think that's kind of what comes with being in your late 20s. So much changes. You start to encounter a lot of grief. Honestly, this is the most grief I've ever encountered in my life in the last few years. So obviously that takes a toll on you for a lot of different reasons in a lot of different ways. Um, but I think that this summer in particular opened my eyes to a lot and genuinely altered my brain chemistry, which is something I also think happens when you enter your late 20s. Like, it's so true what they say about after you turn 25. And I will argue that it happens twice, like after you turn 25 and then after you turn 28. I just feel like this year has just altered my brain chemistry in ways that I'm still trying to comprehend in order to better articulate. Um, but I think in a good way. And this summer, having been so hard and having spent so much time alone, I started doing something that I think is a very common thing right now with the incline of short form content and people constantly sharing bits and pieces of their lives. I start to look at other people's lives and be like, wow, like I wasted my summer. I didn't get to do anything that I wanted to do. I didn't get to travel, and not even just like travel on a large scale, as in like normal trips. I traveled for work. I went home to visit my family, but also just like going out, like going to a nice dinner, going to a museum, things like that. I didn't really get to do. Um, but I think it was easy for me and probably a lot of people. I think this is a more universal experience than not. I was comparing my experience to other people's and just like guilting myself for not making the best use of my time, wasting time. I started to think, wow, like I'm in the end of my 20s, like this is time I'm never going to get back again, which is true on some level. But I think it was so easy for me to get stuck on comparing on a large scale, like these luxuries that actually a lot of people don't get. But I think that social media plays tricks with our brains and makes us think that, oh, this has to be normal, like this is the norm, which is not true. And at some point, something clicked for me, and I was like, you know what? Like, I can still have a good summer and it does not have to be extravagant. I could have at least good moments that are memorable, that are um things that I cherish, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. I don't have to go out for a nice dinner. I don't necessarily have to go on a trip. It can just be in the four walls of my home. It can be sitting at the dinner table with my parents and cherishing that time. And truly, that's what I did. I spent a lot of time at home visiting family, and after my sadness subsided in a way, I don't want to say it went away, but when that like alteration happened in my brain, I really began to cherish those moments, like just sitting with my parents at the end of the night and doing nothing, even if my dad just has the news on and we're all sitting in each other's company. That is such a blessing. The more that I sat and just like really sunk into those moments, the more my brain started to release things. And the more that I wrote, the more that I reflected, and it just reminded me about how valuable actually mundane moments are. And I think that as a society, we've begun to lose um, appreciation for the mundane, for boring moments. With social media, it's so easy for us to get lost in wanting the next best thing, constantly being in competition with ourselves and other people, subconsciously thinking, I have to get there, I have to get to my next goal, I have to buy this new thing, I have to go on this trip, I have to go to this location, I have to do this and that and this and that. And I think that it gets so easy to get lost in that, to the point where you genuinely start to lose time. When I was getting caught up in that and doing this comparison, I genuinely felt like my days were going faster and I had no time to do anything. And then I wouldn't even really remember what I did. It didn't feel valuable. Whereas when I was having those slow days, going and helping my mom get groceries and cleaning the house and sitting at the dinner table with my parents and actually having valuable conversation, I was like, wow, this is really what it's all about. And I think as a society we've just completely lost that. We forgot what it's like to be bored. We don't value that anymore. And honestly, what it brings to you, it brings it recharges your brain, it calms down your nervous system. For me, it genuinely sparks my creativity. I find that when I genuinely allow myself to be bored, that's when I become the most creative, when I get the most ideas to write, when I get the most ideas to create videos like this. It's like more intentional and not comparative. We forgot what it means to really sit down and eat your meal slowly. And if you're alone, just like look at the world around you, not feel like you need to watch something while you're eating. Or if you're at the dinner table, not having your eyes glued to your phone and genuinely being present with the people around you and having conversation, asking people about their days, about their thoughts, about the state of the world, whatever it might be, and just like really genuinely being present in conversation and not getting lost in your head about your to-do list and how you're going to respond to something, just genuinely taking it all in. And also to just like marvel at the world around us, like just go outside and not listen to anything while you take a walk and look at the world around you, hear the sounds of the birds, of the cars, of the people walking and having their own conversations. Like there's so much beauty in the mundane, and it's also such a privilege. I saw a quote on Instagram a few weeks ago that just really struck me, and I resonated with it so much. That read, for me, embracing beauty is not just an aesthetic preference, but a profound response to life's complexities and struggles. It is a way to reconnect with that pure, childlike sense of wonder and communion that once came so naturally. In choosing beauty, I commune with the truest, most honest voice I know, the still, small voice that transforms struggle into something meaningful and something true. Beauty, therefore, becomes not just a refuge, but a vital expression of the deeper truths I've discovered along the way, a shoulder to shoulder companion moving with me through life's struggles rather than skipping over them. This resonated with me so deeply because it articulated something that I have always encompassed, and in trying to find beauty in everything. A little while ago, I actually started a series on social media where I make a compilation of some of the most beautiful clips that I have found and captured, and caption it with everything is beautiful if you look at it with love. And when I read this quote, I was like, wow, this is what I was trying to articulate to people, right? That because if you look at the clips, it's very mundane moments. It's a tree swaying, it's a duck swimming in the pond, it's my coffee being brewed. Very, very simple, probably everyday moments that are actually so profound and beautiful. And it also made me think about why I've come to appreciate the mundane even more. I talked a little bit about grief that I've experienced over the last 2 years, from losing both of my grandmas 2 years apart, and a baby cousin who was taken from us very abruptly, to the genocide of my people for 2 years straight. That filled me with so much grief that I think I could not even understand. But even amidst that grief, I tried to find bits of and pieces of beauty in the world and also relate things back to them. But especially in the conversation of like a genocide happening to my people, where they're being intentionally starved by the apartheid state and they are losing their homes. It altered my brain chemistry, and looking at the everyday things that we do as such a profound blessing that we don't realize. These ordinary moments of being able to wake up in a safe home that I can call my own, with electricity always functioning, with hot water and clean water that I can take a shower in and drink, the blessing and privilege of being able to go out and buy groceries whenever I need food, of being able to sleep soundly and safely and not be worried that I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night, being forced out of my home or being literally bombed to pieces. Um, it makes the mundane that much more meaningful, because it is such a blessing to be able to do these things, to have a job, to have an income, to have money for groceries, to not only have the means to buy necessities, things that people cannot live without, like food and sanitary products and water and baby formula, but to be able to also go out and know that you can find it. Um, these are such blessings. And for me, myself, this is a big reminder for myself as well as anybody watching. I really want us to slow down and not let social media get the best of us, because number one, people are really only sharing highlight reels. Um, and that should not alter the way that we view the world and make us think that we don't have enough, because truly a lot of us have more than enough when we think about it. The fact, again, that we have clean water or food or these basic necessities, that is more than enough. um and I really just want us to like lean into this childlike wonder where we're more curious and we marvel at the world and we genuinely appreciate and sink into mundane moments that I guarantee you, if we look back at them, we're like, wow, that was like such a beautiful moment. Because I know, honestly, my some of my favorite memories are just sitting with my family and having deep conversation and laughing. Some of my favorite days spent with myself are just when I get ready and I go take a walk and look at the world around me and then run the errands that I want to run, even if I'm running them with somebody that I love. These are such beautiful moments. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can have a beautiful life without extravagant things. Liking material things and having goals is not the issue by any means. We all have goals. We all want nice things on some level. We all want to travel and do all of these things. That can exist while at the same time not allowing capitalism really to take us away from what it really means to live, and not to be overly fascinated by material things to the point where we are not really grateful for our day to day. And in Islam, actually, God tells us that the more grateful you are, the more I will give you. And I genuinely just believe that if we just are more present and thankful and understand the privilege that we have within our day to day mundane tasks, the better that our lives will become, as well as our mental health. I yapped a lot, but with that being said, I'm going to take you along on the next few days of my life where I'm going to sink into these mundane things and marvel at the world around me and really cherish the final bits of summer. This is my outfit. Both my top and my jeans are from ASOS. I thought it was so cute, little polka dot moment. The bag is from a brand called Norvar, I think you pronounce it. And then my hijab is Villa. My earrings are actually from Pretty Little Thing. I think they're so cute and it just adds a little bit of a pop of color. Coming to the National Arboretum, I think that's how you say it, and it's so beautiful. It's kind of like our botanical gardens, and it's just so beautiful. One of my favorite things about DC is that there's literally so many museums and like just attractions that you can do for free, and I am so mad at myself for not coming here 3 years ago because it's so beautiful. The leaves are starting to change color. Nice morning. I don't know why I don't use my amenities enough, but I took my book, my coffee, my journal, and my makeup and did all of it outside downstairs, and it was so nice and liberating. Like sometimes I forget I have free will and I can do these things. But it was really nice. On the agenda for today, I have brunch with one of my friends, and then I have a bunch of errands I want to run as well as work to catch up on. I want to finish as much as possible today because tomorrow is Labor Day, so I'm not working and I want to take full advantage of just resting and resetting and getting ready for a new month. This is my outfit. I asked my sister what she thought, and she said it's very cute, my little pilgrim. Are you gonna go churn some butter? So that's great, but I like it and I think it's cute. I'm just wearing a little skirt from Princess Polly. This top is from Pretty Little Thing. My hijab is Villa, and then I have these yellow flats on from ASOS. morning. It's actually 2 p.m. It is Labor Day and it's September 1st. I'm not gonna lie, I have had a very rough start to the month. Not doing my best, but we're gonna push ourselves to do our best. And I've been seeing everybody talk about how September is the new January, which I love because January just doesn't. January rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why, but it does. I used to love it, but lately I'm like, no. So I love this idea of starting over in September because here's the thing, you can start over whenever you want, in the middle of the day, the next day, a new week, a new month, a new year, but you don't have to wait for a new year to begin to start over. With that being said, this book by Melody Beattie called Journey to the Heart just has like daily meditations. And since it's a new month and we need some re energizing, I figured let us read the September 1st meditation with one another. For September 1st, it is titled Make It a Labor of Love. The mirror was framed with a ceramic octopus. It had the sweetest, most peaceful energy. It made me smile when I saw it. Do you like it? My friend asked. Arnold made it. That's when I knew why it was so delightful. Its energy, delightful, joyous, and sweet, was Arnold's energy. The things we create have energy. A meal we cook, a task we perform, no matter how big or small, what we do contains our energy, the emotional energy and attitude that we put into it. Have you ever cooked a meal when you felt angry and disrupted, hurried and harried? Have you noticed the difference when you cook that meal in a loving frame of mind? Merely doing the job isn't always enough. We need to do the job with our best energy, our most positive emotional and mental attitude. Take time before you begin a task to become conscious of the energy you want to put into it, the energy you want that task to have, and reflect to yourself and others. Make conscious, deliberate choices. The larger the task, the more time you may want to spend developing your ideas about it. On particularly significant projects, you may want to spend time visualizing and writing down your ideas so you can focus that energy into your work. Experiment with this idea. See how it comes to life as you do your daily tasks. See how much better the people around you feel when you do your tasks in love. See how much more joy and pleasure work brings to you. There is honor in all work and all tasks, but take it one step further. Make what you do a labor of love. Then your work will truly touch and change the world in the way that you desire. The work you do, whatever your chosen field, will be work that heals. It's crazy because now this is coming back to me. I read this last September and it inspired me to write a Substack piece about it. I'll link it in this video. But it's also crazy because yesterday I was hanging out with one of my friends who's a new mom, and she was just talking about creating boundaries within all of her interpersonal relationships, whether it has to do with her husband or her parents or her in-laws or friends, because becoming a mom just demands so much of you, of your energy, of your body, of your time, literally of everything. And so she was talking about those boundaries and how difficult they are. And I literally said to her, as difficult as they might be, they are a labor of love to you, so that you can pour into yourself and energize yourself. And as an effect of that, you can be a better mother, a better wife, a better daughter, a better friend. Because it's so true. The more that you pour into yourself, the better that you can be for those around you. And so this is such a perfect reminder to do everything with a labor of love. Given it's September 1st, regardless of how I'm feeling, I am going to take this as a first start. I'm going to write a list of things that I would like to accomplish today and this month, some goals, and some affirmations that I want to take with me. And then I'm going to make myself an iced coffee, and I'm going to declutter and clean and just really reset and do little things that are a labor of love for my soul and that I will thank myself for later when I look back at this time of my life and I'm like, wow, you weren't doing your best, but you tried your best, and that is all that matters.